What up, y'all? Mankini here with Mankini TV, and I'm with the one, the only, Timothy Woodward.
Mankini, how's it going, brother?
I'm wonderful, Tom. How are you?
I'm having a fantastic time here at Juggalo Weekend.
This is great. We're here at Tombstone, actually. You starred in this film, right?
Yeah, I did. I played all 4 parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, it was cool.
All right.
For the time.
Does this feel weird being back here after so many years?
It does. It does. You know, it's cool to see a lot of my friends that's buried around here that I put in the grave, but you know, I digress. Actually, we're not just in Tombstone. We are actually in Boot Hill, Boot Hill, and you can see all the old graves that sitting around us. It's kind of creepy, but I mean, you really, you know, showing your respect today.
Absolutely. Listen. Let's be honest. When it comes to stuff like this, I always am respectful.
Yeah.
I'm a upstanding citizen. I don't drink alcohol or anything like that. You know.
That's right. You are. Yeah, you are a model citizen.
I appreciate that.
Now,
I appreciate that.
Well, an example to all the juggalos.
Oh,
I think.
Definitely. A+ behavior. Scott Donahue would never, ever say a bad word about me or my behavior.
Never. I've never heard him say anything bad about you.
I don't think he's ever been disappointed in me once in his entire
Who
life.
has?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
it's crazy.
You lead the pack.
Thank you. Well, look, after you started Tombstone, you led a life of art.
Yes, I went at, when I put the guns away, I thought it was time to do something a little more constructive. So I picked up the pen and started drawing shit. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
What would you say about when did you start drawing? When did you know art was going to be your thing for the rest of your life?
Probably at 6.
6 years old.
6 years old.
And you started Tombstone at 10.
Yes. But
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my calling. But
okay.
Yeah, I had to kill people and then go back to drawing. I had to go back to
Gotcha.
it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, early on, and even to this day, you work with all sorts of organizations.
I do. I work with some big companies. I get to do their artwork. I've been very fortunate about a lot of the accounts that I've gotten. But, the entertainment stuff that I've done is probably the funnest stuff. Of course, we're here doing the ICP shows this week, and probably my best fans are the ones that I enjoy the most.
Absolutely.
Because they really appreciate art like nobody else.
Yeah, the Juggalos love you, 110%. They love you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, it seems like they're very appreciative.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk more about this art you've been doing for ICP. You designed the latest Joker's card.
I did not design it. I mean, we came together as a team. I know Joe and Joey come up with the concepts
Gotcha.
for those things, and then Joey does the initial sketches and stuff like that and does the research on them, and then we get together and work on building the Jokers. So they've been fortunate enough to let me help them on the last couple albums.
Okay.
But that's for doing it for 10 years. I've been doing Juggalo artwork for 10 years, so only
crazy.
now am I starting to get to do stuff that's actually on the albums themselves.
It was almost like a test the water kind of thing.
It was. I had to kind of I had to prove myself to those guys.
Absolutely.
In that circle of trust.
Well,
so.
you definitely are in that circle of trust, hands down. And the artwork is amazing, obviously.
Thanks, man.
100%, absolutely.
Oh, I appreciate
amazing
that.
And beautiful. If you weren't doing art, is there anything else you think you might be doing? Is there anything in the back of your mind you're like, man, if I wasn't an artist, I'd be?
I would and I do it now. I would probably just do cattle ranching. That's why I grew up doing that. I grew up on a farm in Arkansas, raising cows, and I love doing that when I get a chance to. And just being outside and
hanging out, drinking Coronas.
Yeah, well, mostly Bud Lights.
Okay.
But when I come to these events, I get a little fancier.
Okay, I got you. You recently had Shaggy and Keegan at your farm.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
I've been watching that stuff. That got wild.
That was and that was just round 1.
Yeah.
There is talks of a sequel coming.
Part 2.
Yes.
Oh. Are we going to get crazier? Are you allowed to speak on any of this?
No, I cannot shed any light on it. All I know is that the Ozark vlogs were really well received, and I know the guys had a fantastic time. So they asked, let's do this again.
Okay.
And I think a lot of the fans wrote in and said, you got to keep doing this stuff. It's good.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
It's been wonderful.
I was very impressed.
So look, you're part of the community. The Juggalos love you. You're doing Joker's cards. I'm sure people are already seeing it on your shirt. You've got your own event now, Tom.
Well, I know. It's that is exciting, especially this year. But back in 2020, everything was shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the Juggalos were like, when they found out that the gathering was definitely going to be canceled, it was, just seeing on my social media that everybody was kind of, down in the dumps and pissed off about it. And I said, we didn't shut down in Arkansas at all. We just kind of kept going because we're so rural. nothing had really even hit Arkansas. We
Gotcha.
weren't having hardly any cases, and I'm like, and at the time, as long as you were outside, they didn't even think it was an issue.
Yeah.
So
not a problem
I
at
said,
all.
come down to Arkansas, float the river with me, and I had, what was it, about 40, 50 people show up that first year, and we just had an amazing time. And then the next year, it was 3 times that many.
Wow.
And the word just kept spreading at how good a time everybody was having. They were looking forward to it. So, and then this year, this coming Labor Day weekend, it's going to be 10 times as big. I mean, we've got huge stages. We've got giant tents, games, events, and an amazing lineup of musical artists that's going to be performing at the gathering. So,
You allowed to drop any hints to any of these musical artists at
when
all?
is this? Will this be?
Whenever you want it to.
Okay, this could be after March 1st that we're doing this interview.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Today is March
6th.
Okay, perfect.
at Juggalo Weekend
March
2020.
6th.
Well, I know right now I've got like DJ Clay. I've got Light.
Oh, wow.
I've got
Nobody's special.
going to be there.
Wow.
Wicked Wood, Class from LSP.
Oh, shit.
I mean, some really big names and some even some bigger stuff that's gonna be dropping here pretty soon that I shouldn't say right now.
We'll save some surprises.
Yeah.
We'll save some. Will there be any like hot dog eating contests there?
There's going to be a lot of contests.
Okay.
I'm going to hold on to some of those crazy events that we're going to be having. But there's going to be like Dark Carnival Games events there, and there's going to be several events. There's going to be like canoe racing. There's going to be a raft kayak race. Then there's going to be like a Fat Man Luge contest. But
Juggalo.
yeah, the Juggalo. That's right. And so it's a lot more than that. So we're just going to see what develops.
So you've basically inadvertently got your own little mini gathering going on now.
Yeah, I did. It seemed like it just fell in the right spot. And when the gathering came back, of course, we had already had a plan whether it was going to be a gathering last year or not. And the gathering popped up, and it was only 9 days away. And we still had 200 people show up for this thing.
I believe me, I remember I was geared, ready to go, and they announced the gathering, and I said, well, I can't do both of those back to back. It's just it's not happening.
So at least this year, we've got we know the gathering's going to be happening. We're a full month away from it. So I think there's going to be a huge turnout, and I can't wait for everybody to come and see where I grew up and the river that I grew up on. So.
Absolutely. Don't forget, Tom Woods, the float. This will be part 3, right? This is part 2?
This was the float too, but I've changed since I've been told that this has got to be an annual event.
Yeah.
That it's just I'm not gonna count numbers. It's just gonna be the float 2022.
Okay.
And next year it'll be float 2023.
Gotcha.
So
Details coming March 1st.
It's all
even
in the
though this
marketing.
interview is airing March
6th.
So details available now. TomWoodTheFloat.com.
be there.
Is that the website?
It is. Yeah, good job.
Wow. I just guessed that.
TomWoodFloat.com.
TomWoodFloat.com. Ticket details.
March 1st. Get there because the RV sites are going to sell out quick. The premium campsites are going to sell out. And of course, you got to get there and reserve your seats for the rafts and stuff. That river is going to be packed with juggalos.
Packed.
It's going to be a floating dark carnival.
It's going to be Lake Hepatitis times like 30. Dear Lord. Tom, in your experience with the juggalos, like what's the craziest thing you've seen?
I've seen some crazy things.
Like what's you've seen just out of this world?
No, I can't even say. I can't even say that on the craziest stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost become so desensitized to it because I go from this very conservative, slow lifestyle, and I get here with you maniacs, and I'm like, okay, I can do anything, and sometimes that comes back to bite me. But
come watch this. Hold on, I gotta work it up.
Go, Tom!
Don't we have some of this?
Go, Tom!
Before?
It's so open. It's so open, Tom.
Oh, it's like 3 rows.
Are you staring at it? Are you staring right into it?
Always the first night here, when we get here, everybody cuts loose a little bit, and you see some crazy shit. And yeah, I know where you're going with this.
I was just gonna ask if you've ever seen any buttholes.
I've seen, yeah, of course. I mean, that's kind of like the Juggalo thing now is show me your butthole.
Yeah,
and, yeah.
I don't even know how that got started.
Did you start that?
Not me.
Okay.
Not me. I participate, but it's not me. I didn't do that. Well, I gotta ask.
Okay.
You know, with juggalos and being maniacs, even though I was an upstanding citizen, just 3 minutes ago. Now I'm a maniac. But
just a few days of the year. I mean, we go back to our normal lives and we're
so you
fun,
say.
and then we come here and
I wear my bikini at KFC when I'm at work.
no, you do not.
I serve chicken in a bikini.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It burns like grease.
The grease?
splatters, yeah. But no. So you've seen buttholes. We're maniacs. Would you ever spit in a butthole?
Ah, goddamn. Okay, what he's gonna do? Here's what he's getting at. I'm just gonna throw it out there. We were walking around at the Red Roof, which is Juggalo Central, and people are talking about spitting in buttholes. It's okay. Here's what happened. We were drinking.
We were.
As usual.
We were.
We're on top thing. So when I start feeling like I'm getting too buzzed, I'll put a dip in just so I stop drinking. Okay?
All right, fair
So
enough.
we're sitting up there and we're visiting. So I spit over the edge of the railing and it lands down there. And so somebody pokes their head up and says, "Is somebody spitting?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't get too close." Yeah. And they're like, and he says, "Oh, you're Tom Wood. Will you spit on me?" And I'm like, "What did you just say to me?" And he said, "Yeah, spit." And then his buddy said, "Let him spit in your butthole." And I'm like, I was like, "Yeah, no, that's funny and stuff." And then he starts just taking his pants out, and you guys, you motherfuckers, start, cheering me on to do it. And they're like, "Okay, well, I can't wuss out in front of these guys." They kind of look up to me for some reason. So I had, and also I'm pretty good at spitting. So anyway, yeah, he drops trowel and bends over. So I spit, and I hit one cheek. I was a little to the left.
You were. A little
And
to the left.
everybody seemed to be very proud that I even hit it.
Oh, yeah.
From that distance. It was just, I'm not. We're right there. I was like a full story up. So.
Out of curiosity, Tom, let's just completely segue in another direction.
Okay.
Is there anything else you're working on right now for ICP that you're allowed to talk about, artwork wise? Anything that's popping up that might be a surprise coming up?
Well, we're always working on the new ceilings.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be, and Vic came out wonderful. It looked fabulous. It sounded fabulous.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I know Joe and Joey were really excited about it, so that was fun to do. But as far as Tom Wood fantasy art, I've got some really cool stuff that's dropping in 2022. It's I signed a licensing deal with Silver Fox Collectibles, and they work with Star Wars and Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and they do these amazing 18-inch high-end sculptures. And we are building all the Jokers in 3D, hand-painted resin. They're not going to be cheap, but they are going to be amazing.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So yeah, we're going to be setting them up, and we're going to be displaying the 3D sculpts, and then we'll be taking orders on those, because there's only going to be 1,000 of these each made. And you're going to have to bust your ass to get your hands on one.
Oh shit. And they're going to go into production this year?
They're going to go in. They're actually being built right now.
What?
Oh, the Carnival of Carnage is. And then every 2 months we're going to drop the next one. And we're going to go in order of all the Jokers. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying this, but I'm excited about it. But anyway, except we're going to break out of the chronology of the Jokers just for Halloween, because we're going to be doing my new Mr. Rotten Treat sculpture. Full body. It's going to be badass.
What? You just blew my butthole back. Holy
Back
shit.
to buttholes. God damn it.
Damn it, Tom. This is exciting.
I know. This is a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000 of each made. You're going to burn a hole in all of our pockets.
And we put this, the only thing that I was even worried about, they approached me this, and they're doing my mermaid and a lot of my fantasy art pieces, and then my agent showed them the ICP stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and he loved that, and he loved the whole history of ICP and the Dark Carnival mythology. He thought it was fascinating. And he knew that I had a decent following with that, so he wanted to, pursue it, and he's spending, no expense making these things exactly, because I've had to go back to pieces of artwork that I've done years ago and then redraw them from the side and redraw them from the back.
Oh, wow.
So the sculptors can see everything. So, yeah, it's been fun revisiting some of those older pieces.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a Jay and Shaggy included in that as well?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Man.
So, yeah, my biggest fear was I wanted to do it. My agent wanted to do it. Silver Fox wanted to do it, but could I get ICP to do it? And Rob had talked to me a couple years ago about doing sculptures, but that was just in a casual conversation we were talking about. But getting them to sign off on this because they are so protective of their intellectual property.
Absolutely.
So, but when they got excited about it and then they wanted to do it, so now it's definitely on. It's happening.
So out of curiosity, do you know the first date, like the date for the first one to drop?
No, I don't know
Okay.
the first date.
All right, but it's close.
It's I'd say you're probably a couple months out.
Okay. All
But
right.
yeah.
Maybe I just won't drop this interview so that we can get the sculptures first,
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm totally dropping the interview on March
6th.
because today's March 2nd.
That's right. Today's March 2nd.
TomWoodFloat.com, March 2nd.
Yep, go check it out. And also on social media, you can go to Tom Wood Float on Facebook and Tom Wood Float on Instagram.
Damn. And don't forget Tom Wood Fantasy Art on Facebook.
Yes, go to Tom Wood Fantasy Art. Of course, I've got all my artwork there, and I've got the woven blankets. It's always a huge hit at
Oh,
the
yeah.
gathering. Now I've got these awesome Zippo lighters that I can't keep in stock. And, so yeah, it's been good. The Juggalos have been so good to me, and I really appreciate it.
And
I
you've
love
been
you
good
guys.
to us, seriously. You've been good. You're amazing to us. You're an amazing human. You're the sweetest, gentlest, kindest guy. You're just the best.
Thank you.
You are amazing. I loved you in Walking Dead.
It's time to leave that show too.
Believe me, you
Yeah.
made a good choice leaving when you did.
I did. Yeah, it's time to go.
Ruined your legacy at Tombstone. Jeez. Well, look, Tom, I appreciate you chopping it up with me.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
No, thanks for having me, Mankini.
And thanks for spitting in buttholes too.
You're welcome.
I can't believe that I'm saying it, but Tom Wood started this crazy trend that's just going to take over the Juggalo community.
Yep.
You can be proud of that.
Yeah, I'm kind of proud. Once I seen that I wasn't going to be ran out of town, or just
Your wife didn't divorce you.
she didn't. Yeah, I didn't get divorced. So I think it's all going to work out for the best.
It absolutely
Yeah.
will. I already told Scotty D if he can sell the video to TMZ to do it. So,
Yeah, if you can make some money, I won't even take any of that. I think
well, the money.
I'm just gonna. I want the Mankini show to, ramp up. Maybe get a new camera, and maybe some
better mics.
some better mics and stuff. So
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe some wireless ones. Maybe one of those little square things that has my logo on it. Even
that would be cool.
Yeah,
Nice logo, by the way.
So I know this guy, right?
Yeah,
I know this amazing artist, like fucking
Really?
dude, dope,
an awesome artist.
awesome, like probably like top 2 artists in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, the second one is Picasso. So it's him, Picasso. Picasso's dead, so
Wow.
But
Yeah, he's
so
a lucky man.
I am
Such a talent.
I hit him up and I told him what I was looking for, and he was like, I would be honored and absolutely can help you work on this. So
Yeah, I mean that's. I'm sure that was the pinnacle of his artistic career, was working on.
He told me when he turned it in, he said, I think I'm retiring after this. Like, I did this, and this is my masterpiece. And I was like, really? And yeah, this is it. Like,
But then you talked him out of it and said, why deprive
the
the world of your art just
Exactly.
because you kind of peaked here?
Exactly. And now he does work for the Insane Clown Posse, the
Mhm,
NBA,
spits in
the
buttholes
NFL,
and- yeah.
and he spits in buttholes. So he's doing great for himself. It's amazing. It's a wonderful thing. Great guy.
Yeah,
Great guy.
I'd like to meet him.
Well, you know what? I can introduce you to him tonight.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I will. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I got you. Timothy Woodward, it's been an absolute pleasure. I love
Christopher,
you, man.
I love you too, brother.
You keep being amazing.
I will be.
And no matter what they tell you, keep spitting in buttholes.
I will keep that in mind.
All right.
All right.
I'm Mankini. This is Tom Wood.
whoop.
This has been Mankini TV. Happy Juggalo Day weekend. And don't forget, TomWoodFloat.com 2022.
You got to go this year.
You've got to go.